ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर गोविंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Let me share my screen. Can somebody confirm if they can see my screen? Can anybody confirm if they are able to see my screen? Can you hear me? Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Please confirm. Yeah, and is my screen visible? For some reason it says for me that it's not able to open the screen. Let me do that. Yeah, and this is fine. Okay, so today is chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. So last week we started this series and we finished the chapter 1 for this series, and next 18 weekends we'll spend on each chapter to summarize Bhagavad Gita for you to understand it easily and then apply it in your life and introspect what I was doing wrong in my life. Whatever results you are getting, may be good, may be bad, it all depends upon the karma that we do, not necessarily of this birth, maybe last birth or last to last birth. But one thing is for sure that the inspiration to do the karma, whether good or bad, comes from our mind. So, if our consciousness is not good, will not do the good karma, and resultant will not get the good fruits. But if our consciousness is nice, automatically will do a good karma, and then resultant will get the good fruits. Right? So everything depends upon your consciousness. What kind of consciousness we have developed over a period of many, many lifetimes. Right? And these sessions are very, very important because we are trying to elevate your consciousness so that if your consciousness goes up, your thinking power goes up, and then you do a good karma and resultant get a good life. That is what the overall objective. So let's take a summary of chapter 1. What did we discuss in chapter number 1? So we discussed chapter number 1 about the structure of Bhagavad Gita, the testimony, what the great personality says about Bhagavad Gita, be Mahatma Gandhi, be Albert Einstein, Robert Oppenheimer, and many, 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 many leaders. Vikram Sarabhai, father of Indian Space Research Organization. So there are many testimonies for Bhagavad Gita, and this is the most popular book over the period of many, many thousands of years. Some books gets a limelight for say 1 month, 1 year, 2 year, or 10 years, or 20 years, right? And it's replaced by others and replaced by others. So nobody stays on top of the chart, whatever books they released. But then Bhagavad Gita is hitting the top charts for many, many thousands of years. It's a source of inspiration for many, many personalities. And we know and we discussed, just like every complex gadget comes with a manual. Similarly, this human body, which is most complex than all other things created in this world, where is the manual? Bhagavad Gita is the manual. Right? Somebody would say, no, I don't believe Bhagavad Gita is a manual. That's fine, that's all right. But my question to you and to them would be, did you read it? No. So without reading it, if you are discarding and coming to an opinion, isn't it superstition on your own belief? You are having a blind faith on your own opinion backed by nothing. Right? So read it for yourself, or at least listen from us. Give it a couple of days, and then you can make a comment. No, it's not a manual, and it's fine. You can move on in your life. Nothing will be harmed. Right? So this was Bhagavad Gita, the summary, why it's needed, the relevance. Now, what did we discuss the last class? We discussed about various mood. We started the first shloka with Dhritarashtra saying, my and Pandu sons have gathered in Kurukshetra and decided to fight. And what are they doing? We discussed the mood of Dhritarashtra being selfish, being greedy, curious, chaotic, knowing that his son is adharmic, still have over attachment to his son. So we saw the mood of Dhritarashtra, and we learned that over attachment to your son or to your daughter will not harm them, will only harm them in the longer run. And we delved into the mood of Duryodhan, who was very analytical, very shrewd, very clever, very, very diplomat. He went to his guru, Dronacharya, and asked, what are we doing? We have these many fighters on Pandu side, we have these many fighters on our side, right? And he was making a suggestion that we should always stand up to Bhishma Pitama and ensure that he is getting all the support. But he missed, when he was taking the names of all the leaders, he missed one person name, the most important person name, that is Lord Krishna, right? And that is what we are. Everybody wants the kingdom of God, but without God. We want to enjoy this world, but without the Creator. And it doesn't end very good for most of the people. So here, a mood of Dhritarashtra and mood of Duryodhan and mood of Arjuna is compared, where Arjuna chose Lord Krishna before the war, and Duryodhana chose Krishna's army, right? So he's selecting the creation, and Arjuna is selecting the creator. And what happened? And then result is known to, right? Then moving on, we saw the signs of victory. We saw Pandava side is being favored by Hanuman, Bhima, Hanuman, then Lakshmi Devi, then Agni, right? And over and above, we have Lord Krishna on his side, Supreme Lord, right? as a as a mentor, as a charioteer. So we discussed that in our life, we should have a mentor who should guide us, just like a Google map, right? If you ask them to give direction, he would give you good direction. Also, when we are misrouted or going in the wrong direction, it will keep on saying us, please come back, take a U-turn, take a U-turn, take a U-turn. So that is also the role of a mentor, to guide us, to chastise us, to stop us, not to flatter us. Right. So that was the role of Krishna in the life of Arjuna. Then finally we got into the mood of Arjuna when he says to Lord Krishna, bring my chariot between two armies so that I can understand what's happening. And then when he saw his parents, grandparents, his sons, his nephew, niece, there are many others, uncle, who were on the opposite side, and he wanted to fight with them. He became compassionate. He was cherished by his childhood memories where he used to play with them throughout the day. His gurus, he used to take shelter throughout the day. Then now the time has come for him to take arms against them. Is it easy? It's not easy. He was also thinking about those soldiers who would be dead in this war, and the wives will be widowed, the sons will be orphans. And what will happen to them? It is a broader social service in which you're not thinking about only yourself, but thinking about others. How many of us throughout our life just think about us and not about others? We know that there are so many things happening in the society. We should do something, we should do something. But then we are so busy in our own world that we just think but never do. And then we feel we are spiritual, we are social, we have a nature of helping others, but actually it didn't help anyone, neither you nor the beneficiaries. So Arjuna's concern was that. Now we get into the chapter 2, wherein we see when Arjuna was over and above overwhelmed by the grief, then he decided to surrender, right? Let me surrender to Krishna. So far, the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna was about friends. And when the friends talk, it is not to be taken too seriously. They have a good relation. But then when it comes to a relation of a disciple and the guru, it has more gravity, right? It is more of a serious relationship wherein guru is very serious about taking care of the disciple, guiding him, mentoring him, and the disciple is very serious about receiving the knowledge and surrendering it to guru. Then we'll discuss more about Atmagyan, then the two duties, and the lasting happiness. So this is the contents of the second chapter. Right. So in 2.7, when Arjuna spoke to Krishna, Karpanyo dosho pahta swabhavaha prachami tvam dharma samoda chetaha Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste aham shadi mam tvam prapannam. Arjun says, now I am confused about my duty and lost all composure because of measurely weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. So, as we were discussing, now the relationship between two friends changed between them and turned to be a guru and a disciple. And now, before this, Arjuna was always saying, Krishna was saying, fight. Arjuna was saying, no, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't, I cannot, for this reason. That means he is not open to learn, not open to hear others' perspective. He is very firm on his own belief and he doesn't want to listen. So far, Krishna didn't say anything. Now, when Arjuna is saying, I am your disciple and surrendering unto you, please instruct me. That shows openness to hear. Just like all of you are here to hear from me, right? So, your going forward, your attitude about receiving knowledge will decide if you will get something out of these classes or not. If you will decide, I know everything, I'm just here to see what they're saying, right? So the knowledge will bounce back. But if you're here with the open heart and open mind, that I know some things, but I am looking out for higher truth, then you're at the right place and you will learn something by end of this day. The surrender, as we discussed, understanding oneself to be weak. Arjuna understood that so far he has fought so many wars, but now he is weak. He cannot do that. His mental is not allowing him to take decision. Then he seeks refuge. His relationship changed, and from wisdom from guru to disciple. Now, what's the life lesson? The life lesson is life will bewilder us in many circumstances. Sometimes we don't know what to do in office. Boss asked me, fire 10 people below you. Should you do that? Should you not? Easy choice? No, it's not an easy choice. Kids, how much freedom to give it to them versus so that they don't get spoiled. But against how much control I should I should have on them so that they don't get suffocated. How do we decide? So life is not about the black and white choices. It most of the time it comes with a you know what to do. That's how the life is. And for that, we should seek the shelters of the persons who have already gone through that, who has those wisdom. And in our Vedic civilizations, we had so many acharyas who were enlightened wisdom through Bhagavad Gita. So we should listen to them. When it moved forward, when Arjuna said, I cannot fight, then Krishna said, the very statement that Krishna said, you are talking like a very learned person, but what you're talking is foolish. That means Arjuna is saying, I cannot fight. And Krishna is saying, who are you? If I'll ask you, who are you? Somebody will say, I am Archit. But that's not me, that's my name. I am vice president of this company. That's my designation. I am husband of somebody. That's again your designation, your roles in your life. I am this, what you can see, physical presence. That's not you, that's your body. So who are you? That is what the direct question, indirectly, is asked by Krishna to Arjuna. And in response, Krishna revealed the Atmagyan. And the shloka where Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashoschayan Anvashochastvam Prajnavadamscha Bhashashe Gatasun Agatasumscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. Krishna says, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Krishna said to Arjuna, right? You are lamenting you should not lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Something which is born is within this Kala. We all are under the Kala. So anyone who has taken birth, anything which is get produced, anything which is manufactured, always comes with expiry date. So as our body, not just our body, our relatives' body, our son, daughter, mother, father, neighbors, relatives, all of them, right? So Krishna is saying that if you know this fact that somebody who was born is destined to die, why do you lament? There is no reason for you to lament. And then going forward, then Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatruna mohiyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by the change. Krishna is saying, somebody who has taken a birth is sure to die. Somebody who is dead is sure to reborn. So a person who knows that this change is going to happen will never be bewildered by it. That is what Krishna is sharing with us. Now, understand the structure of our body. So there are two kinds of body. One is the gross body, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. The earth, this body which we can see with our visible eyes, when you burn it, it gets mixed in this mother earth. So the basic ingredient of our body is earth. Then we have a blood, which is in the form of liquid. And we know that we have a great amount of water in the body in various other forms, in saliva, in mucus, in blood, in juices, enzymes. Then we have a fire. What is this fire? The temperature of this body, 2 degree up or 2 degree low, and we are on the bed. That means a constant fire is maintaining the temperature of the body. We need a certain degree of fire in our belly to digest the food that we have. That is fire element. Then air. It's when we breathe, we have air, and that's a basic prana, crucial prana for us. And then ether. Ether is nothing but some vacuum which we have in some part of the body. So this is the gross body, which we can see. This is the outermost covering. inside there is one more body which is called Sthula Sharira, subtle body, which includes three things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. Krishna says mind and intelligence are two different things. So as the false ego, they are not the one, and it stays with us. So once we leave our this body, when we die, we lose our gross body. We don't lose our subtle body. So the subtle body carried away with us. And inside the subtle body, we stay as soul. That is what Krishna is saying. So this gross body dies with every birth. Subtle body doesn't die, and the soul, who is us, are immortal. We don't die. So externally, it feels like we are dying. That is what Krishna is saying. If you, Arjun, if you kill all of them who was adharmic, who are not on the side of religion, if you will fight with them, if you will kill them, they will be given they will be given up their gross body, but the soul and the subtle body will be with them. And that is what permanent. It is what Krishna is saying to Arjuna, that you should not be lamenting, because soul never dies. So you can see in this picture what happens. We take a birth from fetus, we become infant, then we become young, then become gradually old, and then we die, right? So our identity with every stage of life changes. Once I'll be called I am a baby, then I'm a boy, youth, father, grandmother, grandsister, all of them. But then what remains is me, my. When we say my hand, right, that means hand and me are two different entities. It is not the one. Similarly, my ears, my home, my car, my family. So they are all different. So the life lesson is I cannot escape my sorrows by destroying or damaging my body. Right. So even if I'll give this body, people do suicide, which is a very stupidest thing to do. When they give up their body, they think everything will be stopped and there will be no pain. But that doesn't happen. That is not the rules of the material nature. Material nature says this body was not given to you by your choice. Similarly, you don't have a right to destroy this body. You are not the owner of the body. How can you take the decision on behalf of material nature what to do with this body? So your life after suicide is more tougher than whatever worst is happening with you, because you get a body of a ghost who have to suffer with the body of a ghost till the time you had to live with this original body. Suppose you want to eat something, but then you are a body of a ghost. You don't have a mouth to eat. You want to enjoy all sort of things which you used to do in this life, but then you cannot, because you don't have proper mouth, proper organs to eat. How will you enjoy? That's why the ghost enters into some human body, so that he can feel that sense enjoyment through the another body, right? But nevertheless, the life is very tough after the death. Moving on, Krishna talks about two kinds of duty. Now, if you see this image, who is more important in this? Anybody would like to speak? Who is more important in this image? Anybody? No worries. So the bird within this cage is there. But then, which is more important, the cage or the bird? The bird is more important than the cage. Because if you don't feed the cage, doesn't matter. But if you don't feed the parrot or the bird, it will die. That is what we are doing in our life. We are always concerned about our body and the extension of our body, right? Who is the extension of your body? Whatever is associated with this body, your friends, your family, your relative, your car, your house, your property, your money, your gold, your worth, everything which is related to you. That is the cage. But then we take care of all these things. But who actually are you? You are the parrot. That means you are the soul. But you are not feeding anything to your soul. A soul needs very different from what you need. You might need, your body might need a food to survive, but soul needs nourishment. Soul needs service. If we are doing everything good for our family, that means we are serving them. If we are going to our office, we are serving there. When we are coming to temple, we are serving. When we are eating something, tasty food, we are serving to our tongue or senses. So the nature of the soul is always to serve, but we serve only on one part and forget the permanent part, which is the service of the soul. That is to serve the Supreme. So, two duties, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It first is called Swadharma. Swadharmam api chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmayadadhe yuddhascha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Krishna says to Arjun, considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Arjun, you are a Kshatriya, you are a fighter. A duty of a fighter is to fight for the religious cause. That is the primary duty of a Kshatriya, to take care of the people in general so that the people are not suffering from adharmic people and you are taking care of them. That is what the duty of a Arjuna in this body. But then there is another duty Krishna talks about, that is called Sanatan Dharma. Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Right? Krishna says, Karmajam buddhi yuktahi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinurmaktaha muktaha padam gacchata anamayam. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees from themselves free themselves from the result of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. So, when we say Sanatan Dharma, we always think about Hinduism. But that is not what Krishna is saying. Sanatan Dharma is the eternal duty of the soul. When we say soul, We are not talking about Hindus, we are not talking about only Muslims, Christians, right? They are all souls. We are talking also about the animals. We are not discriminating somebody who is a poor, somebody who is rich, somebody who is born in India, somebody is born in America, right? We are talking about all humanity, plus all animals around us, all insects, all birds, all reptiles, all the living organism around us. So everybody has a duty, that is to serve the creator, and that is called Sanatan Dharma. And Krishna has revealed different form of dharma to different society of people based on the time, the circumstances, the place, the situation, and their level of consciousness. Krishna has given them a form of faith, which they call it religion, right? And all leads to one, and that is what Sanatan Dharma. Christianity says you should love the Father, you should serve Him, surrender into Him. That means surrender to your Creator. Islam says you should always bow down to Allah, right? Which is another name of the Creator, Krishna. So, in all the major religions, the philosophy is the same: surrender, 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 surrender. And that is for Sanatan Dharma. It doesn't apply only to Hindus. Now, but what happens is, if we don't balance between Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma, the body and the soul, the requirement of body and the requirement of the soul, then this imbalance is what's creating the most problems in our life. That is what is the cause of our suffering when we don't put a balance into body and soul. Right. So, how many hours you do give for your body in a whole day? Practically every 24 hours. And we are not giving anything to soul. Soul needs a service to the Supreme, but we are not giving it to Him. That's what the imbalance is. So once we learn to do the Swadharma as well as Sanatan Dharma, then our life will be happy. Most of the time, we do the Swadharma very well, but we ignore our Sanatan Dharma. So we should not do that. And then Krishna reveals the source of lasting happiness. Krishna says in the same chapter, Prasade sarva dukkhanam haner asyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhiha paryavatishtate. For one, thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Krishna is saying, once you learn to balance those two and do your duty in both the places very well, then the threefold miseries of this material world will not exist for you. Practically, you are in Vaikuntha, still living in this world. You are in the feeling of the spiritual world despite living in this material world. That is the secret of lasting happiness. And that's a life lesson. If one does one's soul's duty with determination and enthusiasm, one can be happy in this life and in the afterlife. So this was the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now I am open to question and answers or comment, anything which you have. Anyone have any questions? Or something that you learned for the new time, that you learned newly this time that you were not aware? You can speak something on that. So if no question, I would stop this class. Then Sunday for chapter 3. Kripa Sindhu Paridhanam Namo Namaha. And Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai.